Hello, tis I, your old friendly neighborhood SpideyWing, today reviewing a really big box. Okay, yeah, it's the Mobirates from this season's entry in the Super Sentai franchise, Kaizoku Sentai Go Kaiger. But since I have been tending to show off the box art first thing in these, I wanted to show it off first. Which is a really nice, bit of box art. I especially really like the bottom that has all 5 of the team down there. You, of course, get the contents and everything. But, hey, it's extremely pretty with just some wonderful side art, and the top is just really nice. You get all of these previous reds up here. So, you get some wonderful stuff. So, give me just a sec, let me empty it out, and I'll show you what you get inside. Alright, before we get into the Mobirates itself, you get 3 of these, which is the gimmick for this season. Ranger keys. You, of course, get Gokai Red, which I'll show off first because it is probably the most detailed of it. The helmet is almost, as well painted as the one in the show. There's, of course, missing details due to size, but overall you get something that's really just nicely detailed, and it really got the majority of the budgeting for painting for Ranger Key, especially the chest, which that is just really blurry. I apologize. But of course you get 2 other Ranger Keys, Shinken Red, which unfortunately isn't as well detailed. It's missing white striping along the little V thing here, and I don't think the Shiba clan crest right here is, I feel like it's missing something in terms of edging, but I don't really remember that well. The bottom part's pretty well done, except mine had a little bit of a QC error in that this part here was stripped off paint, so hey, what are you gonna do? But the helmet's nicely done. It got the white edging, which is interesting, but, again, it's very nicely well detailed. Finally, the third one you get is Go On Red. Again, it's okay. The helmet's nice. It's very well detailed. It's missing the little side painting here, but you get a pretty detailed little figurine here, which really can't do much other than move the arms, which is part of the transformation, which is just very simple. And there you have a Ranger Key. So, now that that's done, let's bring in the Mobirates itself and show it off. Okay, and here we have the Mobirates itself, which is a wonderful combination of black, red, and the detail, the texture on this red plastic, or this section of the plastic is wonderful. Of course, gold, a little bit of silver, some dark blue here on the sticker, and just a little touch of green. This section right here really pops visually just because of the wide variety of colors. The rest of it is, it's black plastic. The molding detail comes out pretty well here, though. Little bit of a, symbol here, which is pretty obvious who it's for. Speaker grill right here. I have no idea, it's just some detail to kind of make it pop. And all this stuff right here. So, yeah, it's really wonderfully detailed all across. And it's big. This thing is a big changer. For example, here's the Maji phone, and you're gonna forget, if you'll forgive me for what I'm about to do. Yeah, I measured them. The Mobirates is about 11 inches, and the Maji phone in wand mode is 12 inches. And this thing's pretty much the longest changer I have. Longest, tallest, So, yeah, this thing is big. For another size comparison's sake, here's the Mystic Morpher, something more people might actually have. And, of course, this thing's bigger. But, hey. So, moving on from that, we start getting into what you do with this thing. And there's actually a lot you can do with it. For example, just here with the buttons here, there are key codes. And I'll get into some of the bigger ones a little later on, but you can just do a search on YouTube for Mobirates codes, And you can get most of them. Sorry about that. So I'm going to cover a few of the major ones, a couple, the one used in the show the most, and everything else. But really, most people really cover them well, so I don't feel the need to. What I do want to talk about, though, is the action gimmick, which involves the top of the phone, and the key slot, and of course, a ranger key. So when you put the key in, and this is with the electronics off, because like I said, I'm just discussing the gimmick. You get a very nice, heavy click. You get that same click when you pull it out. Okay? And so when you turn the key, you get a very nice sound. To me, it really sounds like the electronic features, the way that sounds out. But you get it without having to actually put in batteries. So hey, you get something good there. And then when you put the key back like this, sorry, you get a wonderful little noise that you get when you turn it. And then of course you can just close that up and it comes with a nice click. This gimmick here really feels very well designed. It's a lot like, and you'll have to forgive me, I've only seen reviews of it, but it really feels like the mechanisms on the deluxe Deca driver from Kamen Rider Decade. So it feels like this would last a long time. And unlike a certain other changer, this thing locks in place. See that right there? That little tab right there locks it into place. This thing ain't going anywhere. But now that we've covered all of that, I think it's time we start getting into the electronic features. Alrighty, to start the electronic features, we of course need batteries. It requires 2 AAA batteries, which I've already installed. So when you turn it on, you get, yes, a wonderful little ringing noise, which is fun. Okay, so when you flip it open, and just to show off what the LED looks like, if you push this right here, you just get the same ringing sound. Yeah, and this is probably the only time you're really going to see the LED up close, because it is bright. This thing is a bright LED. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is I want to show the basic transformation noise, which is with the Gokaiger Ranger key. Okay, so when you put that in, see what I said though? The noise is this thing makes when you insert, and when you pull it out, to me, sound like modifications of the noises you get when you put it in the toy just by itself without the toy on. So when you turn it, I don't quite know if I actually showed off the main action feature up close yet, but you get this wonderful shift where it goes from this to that. So yeah, I think that's cool, and well, that was the transformation noise for the Gokaiger. It's not all the key does. For example, when you push the center button here with the key inside, you get, yeah, you get it announcing the team name. And of course the Gokaiger keys are special because they get a second noise after that. Yep. That's it for really this key on its own. The Gokaiger Ranger keys just by themselves are pretty much there for, the basic transformations. The next one I'm going to show off, though, is Shinkenger. And of course, fun gimmick, so of course got to reload it. So when you put the key in, making sure to put it in the right way, and that to me is really the one disappointment of the toy right there. The fact that it's pretty much just a standardized transformation noise and not something special. Like in the show, when they do the tribute episodes, they'll get the normal transformations. It's not a big thing, but it's a personal quibble. Okay? Sorry, the thing's actually kind of got a bit of a hair trigger right there. I didn't mean to bump into it, but it did give me a chance to show off at least what the button press does, and unfortunately, you don't get a second one. So, you know, reload the gimmick, and the final one is one of my personal favorite Sentais, Go Onja. So, Danger key set. Let's go on, shall we? Okay. Now, when you press the button, you get always fun. Okay. Now, then, let's say we get in a little bit into the codes. Now, like I said, I'm not going to cover that many codes. I'm going to cover the main ones and a couple ones that I happen to like. So let's start out with the basic one, which summons the Galleon for, well, you know, the Go-Kaio. And that code is 5501. And you put that in. Another one that I found that I happen to get a kick out of is 5091. And this one got a surprise out of certain members of my family when I did it. Yeah, if you put in 1224, you get Merry Christmas. That is cool, but quite frankly, this is the one that I've most personally enjoyed. When you input 0730, you get that right there is a lot of fun. There's a bunch of codes, but one of the big things you can do is if you input the same button 4 times, you get a response. Like, and this comes into the next really big thing, which is if you input 0 4 times, you get versus mode, which allows you to put in Ranger keys. And if they had a versus movie together, you can do it, you know, comes up with something special. You see, now you can really input any team combination that you want, but it only really announces versus movie title if they had a versus special together. Like Jaka and Go Ranger, O-Ranger and Kaku Ranger, etc., etc. It really makes me wish that, again, it's another minor disappointment, but it really makes me wish that they could have, you know, programmed it so that way it would have announced it for any 2 that you did. It's understandable why they didn't. It would have required a lot of programming and everything, but still. In case I'm really interested in it. There's really nothing left that I want to discuss, but, you know, what do you got? What, should you guys get this thing? Quite frankly, you really should consider getting the Mobirates. You get a wonderfully designed little gimmick. The Ranger keys are nicely detailed. Yeah, they're not perfect, but hey, considering their size, you get some wonderful detail out of them. You can just have a lot of fun with the codes. There are a bunch of codes into this, and, well, quite frankly, it's the action gimmick that sells it. It's just wonderfully designed, heavy duty. It really feels like it's gonna last a long time. I got mine at HLJ. Not a bad place to get it. Of course, I got mine for 20% off at the time, but hey. So, if you can find one, and you can find it for a good price, it's going to be kind of hard to do that, but if you can, I wholeheartedly recommend getting it. You aren't going to be disappointed. until you realize you only get 3 ranger keys. Then you need some more. This is not going to be fun for my finances. With that out of the way though, I'm your friendly neighborhood SpideyWing. Thank you and good day.